For centuries, people have whispered the same question. Where did the Templar treasure go? Buried beneath ancient cities, hidden in secret vaults, carried away by shadowy survivors on the eve of their destruction. But what if the real answer is both less romantic and more fascinating than the legends suggest? Today, we're peeling away layers of myth to uncover what the so-called Templar treasure truly was and why its disappearance changed the financial history of medieval Europe. Forget the movie scripts and conspiracy charts. This story is about power, debt, innovation, and a king who needed money badly enough to destroy the most sophisticated financial institution of his age. The truth is not hidden underground. It has been hiding in records, ledgers, and royal orders for more than 700 years. Knights Templar began as a small brotherhood in the early 12th century, formed to protect pilgrims traveling to Jerusalem after the First Crusade. They took monastic vows, poverty, chastity, obedience, and lived under strict religious discipline. Outwardly, they were warrior monks, but institutions evolve, and the Templars evolved fast. Within decades, they had become far more than guardians of roads. They were logisticians, administrators, diplomats, and eventually financial innovators. Their houses spread across Europe and the Eastern Mediterranean. They managed estates, collected rents, negotiated contracts, and moved resources across borders with unusual efficiency. Their religious status gave them trust. Their discipline gave them reliability. Their network gave them reach. Those three elements, trust, reliability, reach, are the foundations of banking. One of the Templars' most important innovations was a secure deposit and transfer system. A pilgrim could deposit money in Europe and receive a coded document, a letter of credit, allowing withdrawal in the Holy Land. No need to carry large sums across dangerous territory. This was revolutionary. In a world with bandits, war zones, and fragile currencies, the Templars offered something rare: financial continuity across distance. Their houses functioned like interconnected branches. Their records tracked obligations and credits. Their reputation enforced compliance. Kings noticed. Nobles noticed. Soon, rulers were storing treasure with the Templars, not because of mysticism, but because they were dependable. Royal taxes, crusading funds, and diplomatic payments flowed through Templar hands. In some regions, they effectively operated as the treasury managers of monarchies. Their wealth was not just coins in vaults. It was land, rights, contracts, rents, and most importantly, outstanding loans. That distinction matters because when people imagine Templar treasure, they picture piles of gold. But financial power is often invisible. Financial institutions become powerful when others depend on them. By the late 13th century, the Templars were deeply embedded in European political finance. Their exemptions from certain taxes and their direct loyalty to the papacy gave them unusual autonomy. That autonomy made them useful and threatening. A ruler in debt is never comfortable with a creditor who cannot be easily controlled. Enter a king with a serious money problem. Philip IV of France, often called Philip the Fair, ruled a powerful but financially strained kingdom. Wars with England, conflicts with the papacy, and administrative expansion had drained royal resources. He had already taken aggressive measures against other financial groups. Expulsions and asset seizures were not unfamiliar tools in his policy arsenal. He owed money, a lot of it, and among his creditors stood the Templars, wealthy, organized, and legally complex to confront through ordinary means. So he chose extraordinary means. On Friday, October 13, 1307, coordinated arrests took place across France. Templars were seized, interrogated, and charged with heresy, corruption, and blasphemy. Confessions, often extracted under torture, fueled public scandal and legal justification. Popular legend says Philip acted to seize hidden treasure. Historical records suggest something more practical. He wanted liquid assets, cancelled debts, and institutional control. Ever heard of the legendary treasure of the Knights Templar? We all have, right? The story goes that on Friday the 13th, 1307, King Philip IV of France arrested the Templars, hoping to seize a massive hoard of gold and riches. But when his men stormed their headquarters, they found nothing. No mountains of gold, no chests overflowing with jewels. So, where did it all go? Well, the truth is, the treasure probably never existed in the way we imagine. The Templars were incredibly wealthy, but their fortune wasn't in gold bars. It was in land, castles, farms, and a massive international banking system. They were the world's first multinational corporation. King Philip IV was left disappointed, but the myth of a hidden treasure has captivated us for centuries. The real treasure was their innovative financial network, not a pirate's chest. Much of what remained after investigations and dissolutions did not vanish. It was reassigned. A significant portion of former Templar properties was transferred to the Knights Hospitaller, another military religious order. Other assets were absorbed by the French crown or redistributed through ecclesiastical channels. In other words, redistribution, not disappearance. But redistribution is less exciting than mystery, and mystery is what survives in popular imagination. When institutions collapse suddenly, gaps in understanding appear. Myths rush in to fill them. Stories later connected the Templars to secret excavations beneath the Temple Mount, and to relics like the Holy Grail. These narratives grew centuries after the Order's fall, shaped by Romantic literature, esoteric traditions, and modern entertainment. There is no solid contemporary evidence that the Templars discovered hidden biblical treasures beneath Jerusalem that later funded a secret escape plan. Their early headquarters near the Temple Mount likely inspired symbolic associations, but symbolism is not proof. The Grail stories tell us more about later cultural imagination than about medieval finance. The destruction of the Templars created a perfect storytelling environment, a powerful secretive order, a sudden violent crackdown, confessions under torture, confiscated properties, missing records, and political motives. Add a few centuries of retelling, and mystery turns into legend. Hidden treasure stories persist because they offer narrative satisfaction. They suggest that power escaped control, that secrets outlived persecution, that something priceless remains just out of reach. But the documented truth is more structural. The Templars' real treasure was their system, their network of trust, contracts, routes, and records. When the order was dismantled, that system shattered. Value dissolved with it. Destroy the institution, and you destroy the mechanism that creates the wealth. Modern viewers often search the Templar story for coded maps and buried gold. Historians find something else: an early experiment in international finance, and a warning about political risk. The Templars demonstrate a timeless pattern: when financial institutions become deeply entangled with state power, they become vulnerable to state fear. Their fall was not caused by hidden relics or forbidden rituals. It was driven by debt, politics, and opportunity. The myth says treasure vanished overnight. The records show assets were seized, reassigned, and diluted. The legend promises secret vaults. The evidence points to ledgers and land grants. The Templar treasure was never just about gold. It was about credibility, and credibility can be more valuable than metal. For nearly 2 centuries, they built a trusted transnational system in an age without modern banks. Their end was brutal, public, and politically useful. And when the dust settled, Europe remembered not their accounting methods, but their mystery. That is why the legends survived longer than the balance sheets. Because numbers explain, but stories endure.